Hi everyone and welcome to Warren's Team Talk. I hope you're all okay. I'm just having a bit of a technical issue here, so just bear with me a sec. The sound keeps going off, I think. So bear with me a second. I'm going to see if I can sort it out. I won't be a second. It's almost done. I think it's all right. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so if there's anyone in the chat, can you hear what I'm saying? Taib's there. Taib, can you hear me? Taib's got a chat saying, "Hi Warren, how are you, my friend?" Taib, can you just let me know if you can hear what I'm saying, please, mate? Right, okay, so you can hear me. That's good. That's good. And thanks a lot, Taib. And James Dunlop's here. This is hi Warren. Hope you had a nice Christmas. Yeah, I did. Thanks, mate. I hope you had a nice Christmas as well, buddy. James says we can hear you loud and clear, Warren. Oh, that's good news. That's good news. I'm pleased to hear it. Right. Okay. So what we're going to do today, we're going to do the review of match day 19 of the FA Premier League. So that was the games that we had on Boxing Day and the 27th of December. And Ty says can't see you. Yeah, I noticed that. Sorry, buddy. Anyway, so we should all be okay now. There you are. Laugh out loud. There you are, mate. In full effect now. So that's good. Right. Okie doke. So let's start off with the Premier League table. Before the match day started, the league table as it was on Christmas Day, Man City was sitting top, 3 points clear of Liverpool, and Liverpool were then a further 3 points clear of Chelsea, and Arsenal was 6 points behind Chelsea. West Ham were in fifth, 4 points behind Arsenal. Man United were in sixth, Tottenham were in seventh, Wolves were in eighth, Leicester were in ninth, Aston Villa were in 10th. And then in the relegation zone, we had Burnley, Newcastle and Norwich. But Burnley had at least 3 games in hand on all the other clubs around them. So James Dunlop says, in about 25 minutes, I need to go for my juicer jab. Good luck with that, mate. I hope it works out right for you. I hope everything's fine with that. So yeah, just make sure you go off and get that sorted out. That's far more important than this stupid video. That's for sure. And we'll see you really soon. James getting a much needed boost after just eat the chocolate, my friend. Laugh out loud. Laugh out loud, Taib. Hope you're well. Yeah, I'm not too clever today, guys, so you'll have to bear with me if I come out with any more nonsense than what I would normally anyway. So I'm good, James. Laugh out loud, says Taib. Right, so moving on. And let's look at the fixtures for that weekend. So as I said, it was all the games that were played on Boxing Day, the 26th of December, and the game on the 27th. of December. There were 3 games cancelled out of this match day, which were Liverpool against Leeds, Wolves against Watford, and Burnley against Everton. And the McManus Sense comes in and says, "Afternoon all. Hi McManus, I hope you're well. Nice to see you, mate." So the first game of the weekend saw Manchester City play Leicester. And Manchester City raced into a 4-goal lead. They were 4-0 up after 25 minutes. Goals from Kevin De Bruyne, Riyad Mahrez penalty, Ilkay Gundogan. The pronunciation's a bit ropey as usual. And Raheem Sterling with another penalty. So, City decimated Leicester after 25 minutes. Then at the start of the second half, Leicester started a bit of a fight back, and they managed to score 2 goals in about 5 minutes. First one came from James Maddison, and the second goal came from Ademola Lookman in the 59th minute. And then after that, Leicester added a third one when Iheanacho got a goal in the 65th minute, and then Manchester City put the afterburners on and ended up winning the game by 6-3, thanks to goals from Laporte and Raheem Sterling. So that game was just an absolute madness. And James Donald says, "Laugh out loud, Taib." And Taib says, "Where did Vin go after he ate a super hot curry?" Jesus. Taib, mate, your jokes get worse by the minute. Honestly, that's just unbelievable. Yeah, I bet they were. When it got back to 4-3, I bet they were thinking, "Oh my God, we're going to throw this away." It just reminded me of that game a few years ago when Arsenal were at St James's Park in Newcastle, and they went 4-0 up at half time, and then Newcastle come out in the second half and pulled the game back to 4-4. Absolute madness. Hi James, hi Taib. Hope you're good, gents, says the McManus Sense. And all good here, McManus, says Taib. James Dunlop says, "I'm fine, McManus." And the McManus Sense says, a thumbs up. Yeah, that's what I like to see. I like to see you all having a good old natter and getting along. That's great. Right, so, that was the Man City-Leicester game. And what a game it was. It was absolutely mad. And it was funny because a couple of days before, I remember seeing something online about some old Boxing Day fixtures and how there always used to be loads of goals, and then you get this madness happening, a 9-goal thriller at the Etihad. Gee whiz, what a carry on. And then the Stapes is here. Hi Stapes, how you doing, mate? Nice to see you. Hi Warren, mate. Is it time we all start giving Arteta some credit? I see you had a right go at Arteta with the Alba situation, but we've been brilliant since he made that hard decision. Yeah, it was a hard decision. But I've got question marks about who was really at fault with that. But I don't know, man. I'm just not convinced about him at all. I've heard different stories stating that Alba wasn't actually late for the training session, and that and if that's the case, then I'm sorry, but I think Mikel Arteta has really badly mistreated him, and it wouldn't be the first time. His management has been absolutely shocking. It was a hard decision, and I'll give him credit for that. But his man management for me is absolutely shocking, and there's a long list of long list of casualties in that regard. But yeah, there you go. So it's not a particularly good record he's got on that front, I'm afraid. And his coaching is questionable. Aubameyang. Just look at his goal scoring record previous to when Mikel Arteta came on board, and since he's been on board. I think that just tells you everything you need to know, really. But yeah, Arsenal been doing well at the moment. But again, it's like this 10-game unbeaten run we had, wasn't it? We were going around slapping teams on that 10-game unbeaten run. And then when we came up against Liverpool and Everton and United, we just got took apart, didn't we? So, yeah, the title is City's to lose. The pressure is more on them to sustain top spot, says James. I think I agree with you, mate. I just think they look a cut above at the moment. Liverpool look like they've hit a bit of a buffer as well. So after that result last night, so yeah, it's going to be interesting after the next few weeks and see what actually happens. Taib says Arteta is a vile individual. Just ask for a laugh out loud. Listen, I've got no problem with him as a human being. I'm sure he's a nice person and all the rest of it. However, I have got several question marks about his management. I don't think he should have been given the job in the first place. It's taken him 2 years to get this point where we could have been in this position like after a week or two if we'd had an experienced manager come in. I just think it's absolutely shocking. The McManus sense, but isn't Arteta the reason Albans declined? Absolutely, McManus. Absolutely. That's what I think. 2 years ago, he was up for a Ballon d'Or. Now he's a shadow of himself and out of the team. Exactly. And that's what I think. And I think it's all down to Arteta's coaching and his tactics, to be quite honest. I can't really wait for Arteta to get a new contract. Oh, my God, Stapes, don't say that, mate. Honestly, he's changed the culture and the mentality of the club. Anyone in the team that doesn't do as he says, he's out of the team. Yeah, but that's not a particularly good way to manage people, is it? Like, you do what I say or you're out. I mean, any other line of work that you were in, if you question your manager's judgment because you thought there was a better way to do it, like to be told, right, that's it, you're not involved in, it's just a bit ridiculous. And any other line of business, he would be up on a what do you call it? He'd be up on the grievance. He'd be having the grievance procedure thrown at him. And he's turned one of the world's greatest strikers into basically a defensive central midfield player. I just think it's shocking. And if he gets another contract, well, I don't know. We haven't beaten anyone in any of the teams in the traditional top six. So, I'm sorry, mate. I can't agree with you about that. I just think it'd be a big mistake to give him another contract. But I think he'll get it, unfortunately. And Taib Hussein puts in some laughing emojis. That was the Man City Leicester game. And in that game, Man City had 17 shots, 9 of which were on target. They had 72% possession and made 736 passes. And they had a 94% pass accuracy. Now, Leicester, on the other hand, had 14 shots, 8 on target, 28% possession, 289 passes, and a pass accuracy of 86%. They didn't. By looking at that, it looks like they didn't do particularly badly, really. So, it's clear to see that there's been some improvement over the last few weeks with Leicester. And maybe it wasn't such a shock that they got that result that they did last night against Liverpool. Then the next one, the mighty Gunners away at Carrow Road, Norwich 0, Arsenal 5. And the first half performance in particular was absolutely superb from the Gunners. But they scored the majority of the goals in the second half, which is interesting. But it was an all-round good team performance. And Saka got a couple of goals. Kieran Tierney got on the score sheet as well. Lacazette got a penalty, and Emil Smith-Rowe come off the bench to do his super sub bit. So a comfortable and impressive 5-0 victory for the Gunners. So, yeah, there we go. So the match stats for this one saw Arsenal have 16 shots, 6 on target, 65% possession, 585 passes, and a pass accuracy of 84%. And then the match stats saw for Norwich, saw them have 4 shots, 2 on target, 35% possession, 314 passes, and 72% pass accuracy. So, to me, it looks like Norwich are gone. I really think that now, after that humiliating defeat at home to Arsenal, I think that they can kiss goodbye to the Premier League this season. I think it's going to be very difficult now for them to save themselves. I might be wrong, but I just think it's too much to ask to expect them to get out of it. But they do have Dean Smith there. He does have experience of bringing a team out of the Championship back up to the Premiership. He did it with Aston Villa. So maybe that's why they appointed him in the first place, because they thought, oh, well, if we do get relegated, we need someone who's got experience of being able to get a team out of the Championship. So there you go. So some more chats here. Ty saying, says, I can't wait until Arteta is sacked. Laugh out loud. Mate, I'm not convinced about him as a manager, and it would make me very happy to see him shown the door, but only if we... But what worries me, I should say this a different way, but what worries me is about the Arsenal board and who they would appoint as manager, because I think there's a massive problem at Arsenal, not just with Mikel Arteta, but with all the other people that are above him, because I don't trust them to make good recruitment decisions. And if they were to sack him, I could quite easily see them appointing Per Mertesacker as manager. I really could. And I think that would be a big mistake. We need the mess that the club is in. We need an experienced manager to come in and do it and sort it out, not a novice. You don't give a job like this to a novice. You're just asking for trouble. And trouble is what we've had for the last 2 years, to be quite frank, in my opinion. So McManus says yes, Tayu. I mean, I don't want to see people getting sacked. It's horrible. And, I never want to see a football manager get sacked. But if he's not going to produce the goods, and I'm not convinced that he will get us in the top 4, I think there's a question mark about whether we'll get top 6. We're doing well at the moment and we're flying high, but in the next few weeks, we're going to see, I think, where we're at, because we've got to play Man City, and I think we've got a few other big games coming up as well. So we'll see. Alba doesn't work hard enough, and he has to take a look at himself, and people need to give Arteta credit instead of saying vile things about him. I'm not interested in saying, making comments about Arteta and he's being like making crude comments about him, But the truth of the matter is he has had trouble getting Arsenal to play on the front foot and compete. with the best teams in this country. And if he wants to stay in the job, he's going to have to sort that out, because we've had 2 8th place finishes in the league since he's been here. And I'm sorry, that's not good enough. Not for a club of Arsenal stature. Alba's work rate and everything, well, perhaps if he was playing him in a proper position, he would be working harder. He's not. He's been, in my opinion, he's been wasted. The tactics that Arteta has employed do not suit his game. And to be quite honest with you, if I was in Alba's position, I think I'd have the same attitude about it. I just don't like Arteta's attitude towards the players. It's my way or the highway, and I think that's a really poor way to manage people. It's an idiot's way, as far as I'm concerned. It's not a way to manage people. Anyone who's managed people in the past will know that in any line of business, it's not a way to get the best out of people that you got supposedly working under you. James Dunlop says, professional performance from you guys at Norwich. Another game you should be winning at some really good performances by some players. Yeah, I couldn't have put it better myself, actually, James, but we'll see what happens when we come up against Man City in a few days. I'm the same with Everton, Warren. It's the worry of the unknown and horrendous decision-making from up top. Absolutely, and that's what worries me about it, is the fact that the board of our club, I don't trust them to make the right decisions to steer the club in the right directions, because none of them know what they're doing. None of them have been in roles like this before. It's like they think that they're running. I think the Cronkies think they're running a college of further education or something, and it's not. It's a football club. It's a multi-million-pound business. It's a joke. We need a clear out from top to bottom, says McManus Sense. It's not just Arteta. It's Edu, Vinay, the board, and the Cronkies. Yep, you're right, McManus, I'm afraid. I think, sadly, yeah, I think you're right. And I'd like to get David Dean back and do a root and branch assessment of the club and see what needs to be improved, because I think there's a lot wrong. And I completely agree with what Thierry Henry said when he said that there was a lot wrong at the club, and he turned around recently as well and said that he couldn't really see there'd been that much improvement. And I agree with him. I can't see there has. I mean, when we played Liverpool a few weeks ago and we got trounced 4-0, if you look at the statistics about our defending in that game and compare them with the game against Man City, you'll find that the statistics are more or less the same. And that's him supposedly with his team. So I'm sorry, but if that is acceptable, then I think we're in trouble. Tayyip Hussain says Emery wasn't a suitable replacement for Wenger, and Arteta is a whole lot worse. The club needs to raise their standards. Tayyip, we certainly do need to raise the standards as a supporter base. Nothing is going to change unless we start demanding that the club changes. It's not, they're going to take the easy route, the route of less resistance. And if we don't make it difficult, then they're not going to change. As simple as that. And I think Emery, if we had Unai Emery and he'd been given the proper backing and the financial backing that this manager has, then Arsenal would be a lot higher up the table than what we are now. I 100% guarantee it. States for a novice manager, 2 years in charge. Arteta has won an FA Cup and got us back in the top 4. Fantastic job considering he's got the deadwood out the door. Hats off to Arteta. Right, 2 things about that State. He's been 2 years in charge and he's had 2 8th place finishes. He's won an FA Cup, which he fluked, and we're sitting in top 4 at the moment. Yes, we are. But the season finishes in May. It doesn't finish on the 28th of December or the 29th of December. So let's see where we are at the end of the season. We've had no improvement against our so-called rivals, and I can't see that that's going to change, to be quite honest. So the next game, Tottenham played Crystal Palace at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They beat Crystal Palace by 3-0. Harry Kane, Lucas Moura and Son Heung-min all got on the score sheet, and a very comfortable win for Spurs. And they got their revenge for Palace giving them a beating of the same level earlier in the season. So, yeah, Tottenham would have been really happy with that. And as I'm sure that Antonio Conte would be, his revolution seems to be gathering pace. And he doesn't seem to need 2 years to get a team performing. So, fair play to him. I guess that's what happens when you get an experienced manager going in. You don't have to wait 2 years and put up with all the crap that we had to put up with when Arteta, when he first came in. And I don't think it's finished yet. Tottenham in this game had 17 shots. 6 were on target, 60% possession. They had 602 passes, and their pass accuracy was 91%. And then Palace had 4 shots, none on target, 40% possession, 406 passes, and 82% pass accuracy. So that would be a massive concern for Patrick Vieira, that in the whole 90 minutes, they never managed to get 1 shot on target, because they've got quite a good array of attacking talent in that squad, and not to be able to muster 1 shot on target, I'm sure he was absolutely furious with that. I'm actually quite shocked about that, to be quite honest. Then West Ham entertained Southampton at the London Stadium. They lost by 3-2, and their poor form continued. But Mikel Antonio got himself back on the score sheet. He'd gone on a bit of a goal drought, so that would be good news for the Hammers fans. And Saeed Benrahma also scored for the Hammers. And then the goals for Southampton came from Mohamed El Yunusi, James Ward-Prowse, and Jan Bednarek. So, yeah, a good win for Southampton, and they continue to climb up the table. After they were looking perilously close to the relegation zone, they're starting to pull themselves away from that area now, so they'll be very happy with that. And then James Dunlop says Tottenham are 2 up and down at the moment. Not sure they'll get top 4 this season. I think the fact that they got Antonio Conte there is going to help them. I'm not saying that they will get top 4, but I think they're more likely to get it than what Arsenal are. If they win their games in hand, they'll go above us, I think. We'll see later when we get to the league table, because I've going to show you the league table in a little while after these games were played. So, yeah. But they are a little bit inconsistent, but I think their form will continue to improve under Antonio Conte. James Dunlop says, "Cheers, Warren. I need to go. See you, man. See you all, guys. See you all soon, guys." Thanks very much for coming in, James. I hope that the jab thing goes well, and you don't get too many nasty side effects. And I look forward to seeing you soon. McManus says Arteta's managing of the players is a huge problem. Albert is a prime example. Another example of poor management is giving Laka the captain's armband, a player that wants to leave, and running his contract down. then there's a whole host of, like, a whole catalogue of people that he's mismanaged at that club. Pepe being one. Another one is Granit Xhaka. Another one is Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Another one is William Saliba. Another one is Matteo Guendouzi. It's just unbelievable. The man management is shocking. It really is. And how he hasn't been told that he needs to address it, I really don't know. McManus says, latest James, he should have been made to go on a man management course. He should have, when the lockdown was on, he should have done an online course about managing people, because clearly he's never managed people before. I can see that. I've managed people in the past, and I can tell you some of the mistakes that he's making are really bad. And State says, Arteta destroyed Southampton with 3 goals and a clean sheet, but Tottenham's so-called great manager couldn't score more than one goal against 10 man Southampton. Yeah, Tottenham drew 1-1 with Southampton, but it's a completely different game, States. Just because one team does something against a side doesn't mean to say it's going to happen the next exactly in the same way when they play against another side. That's, sorry, mate, but I find that comment a bit silly, really. The McManus sense, I would have mentioned the rest for him, but I ran out of space. Exactly, that comment says it all. He's absolutely shocking. He's shocking. So, moving on. So the match stats for that game, West Ham had 11 shots. They had 5 shots on target. They had 56% possession. They had 451 passes and 80% pass accuracy. And then Southampton had 11 shots. 6 were on target, 44% possession, 378 passes, and then pass accuracy of 76%. So, yeah, that was the Southampton-West Ham game. So, looks like Southampton did quite well in that game, and they did obviously win the game. So, they would have been very happy with that win, and not a lot of sides have come away from the London Stadium with a win this season. So, yeah, it's a difficult place to go and get a win. The West Ham fans are now starting to feel at home there, and the atmosphere seems to be quite raucous at times down at the London Stadium, and all the bubble machines blowing out the bubbles. I find it quite entertaining, to be honest. But yeah, anyway, so next game, Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 3, and Chelsea's poor run of late came to an end. They defeated Villa by 3-1, and Steven Gerrard's revolution at Villa sort of come to a grinding halt, I guess you could say. And they ran out comfortable 3-1 winners. Villa's goal came from an own goal from Reece James in the 28th minute, and Chelsea's goals came from Jorginho, Romelu Lukaku, and Jorginho again in the 3rd minute of injury time. So, yeah, they won by 3-1. Villa in this game had 8 shots, 1 on target, and they had 42% possession, 446 passes, and a pass accuracy of 85%. And then Chelsea had 10 shots, 4 of which were on target. They had 58% possession, 609 passes, and a pass accuracy of 88%. And then State says, okay, so remember how you answered my question when we don't get a result against City. Some people expect us to be on City's, Liverpool, and on City and Liverpool level when we are well behind them in terms of player levels. Yeah, the problem is, Stapes, that when we play these teams, we don't even put that much effort in, and we're not tactically well organised. That's the problem I've got with it. I'm not expecting us to go out and beat City and Liverpool, but I am expecting us to go out and put a fight and to be tactically well organised and defensively well structured. But we weren't. We weren't at Anfield. We got rolled over at City. We lost 5-0. We conceded something like 19 or 20 shots against City. And then when we played Liverpool, we conceded more or less the same again. So I just find it a bit laughable when people go on about how he's fixed the defence, yet we're conceding upwards of 15, 16 shots on target against teams. Sorry, 15, upwards of 15 shots to sides that we need to be competing with if we want to win a title. So, yeah, I just find it a bit laughable, really, to be honest. Because I don't think he has fixed the defence. I just think what's happening is that we're able to beat sides that we should be beating, yet then when we come up against the side who we're competing for the top 4 or top 6, we end up getting slapped. We've lost so far this season to Manchester City. We've lost to Liverpool. We've lost to Everton. And I'm not saying we're competing with Everton for the top 4, but we have lost to them. We lost to Brentford. We've lost to Manchester United. We've lost to... who else did we lose to? Yeah, so, we've lost to a whole host of different sides. And at one point this season, until this recent good run he was on, we had a 46% win percentage. I'm sorry, but it's not acceptable. It isn't. And it's taken him 2 years to get to this point. He's lucky that he's still in a job, because he should have lost his job last season, because the performances were shocking. We were all over the place. We were getting ripped apart left, right and centre. I'm sorry, Stakes, I know you rate him, and I apologise to you for saying this, mate. I do respect your opinion, I really do, but I just don't think he's the man. I really don't. I think with a more experienced manager, it wouldn't have taken this long, and I think by now we would have been up there challenging for a title. We lost all these games and we're still in the top 4. Yeah, but we're still in the top 4 because we played a lot more games than all the other teams around us, mate. Man City, Liverpool, Everton, Chelsea, United, Brentford, says Tybe. Exactly. And those games that you've just mentioned, Man City, Liverpool, Everton, Chelsea, United and Brentford, we should have beaten Everton, we should have beaten United, and we should have beaten Brentford, which would have given us 9 points. That would have put us second or third, right? But because we've got a manager who doesn't know how to organise the team properly, we didn't, and we got beat. So I'm sorry, he's not the man. So Brighton against Brentford. Brighton won the game by 2-0. Trossard and Neil Maupay scored for Brighton in the first half. Brighton were another side that had been in different form of late, and even a few weeks ago, some of the Brighton fans were booing the side off at the end of the game. And it prompted the Brighton manager to turn around and say that he thinks he needs to go and do a history lesson about Brighton Football Club. So, yeah, there you go. So, yeah, that was the Brighton and Brentford game. And the match stats, Brighton had 15 shots, 5 of which were on target. They had 51% possession, 466 passes and 80% pass accuracy. And Brentford, on the other hand, had 16 shots, 6 of which were on target, and they had 49% possession, and they had 450 passes and a pass accuracy of 77%. So, the game was a lot closer than what the score for me seems to suggest. The match was a lot closer than the scoreline suggests. So Brighton did well to win that game, and it'll be interesting to see what they do next time out. I think they might be playing Chelsea next. I'm not 100% sure. And then the next game came at St James's Park, and Newcastle took an early lead against Manchester United, thanks to a goal from Alan St Maximin in the 7th minute. And then late into the game, Edinson Cavani rescued a point for Manchester United as the game ended in a 1-1 draw. So Eddie Howe was quite happy with the point, but he felt they should have won the game. Obviously, he's going to say that, I would have thought. But I'm sure he would have been happy with the point. If someone had offered them a point at the beginning of the game, I'm sure he would have taken it. But and Ralph Rangnick, I saw, was quoted as saying that we wasn't not happy at all with what he saw at St James's Park from his Manchester United team. So I'm sure that he would have had them on the training ground the next day trying to sort it all out. So, yeah, that was the United-Newcastle game. The match stats for this one, like Newcastle had 13 shots, 8 of which were on target. They had 31% possession, 259 passes, and a 64% pass accuracy. That's not good, is it? 64% pass accuracy. That tells you a lot about where the problems are at Newcastle. Manchester United had 13 shots. They had 4 shots on target. They had 69% possession, 566 passes, and an 80% pass accuracy. So the difference in the pass accuracy is quite stark, and it shows that Newcastle kept giving the ball away, I guess. But there you go. So, State says you supported Arsenal longer than me, Warren. You should know, regardless of ownership, we as a club never go for a top manager. We got Graham from Millwall and Wenger from Japan. That's very true. But we're in a different situation now. We have a different owner who's a multi-millionaire. Back in the day when I started going, we didn't have that situation. We wouldn't have been able to attract a manager of that ilk because we were a lot more financially restricted, but we're not now. We are able to compete with any team on the planet in terms of finances, and I believe that we should flex our muscles. And to say that we can't attract a top manager and appoint a novice as a manager, I just think it's not acceptable. It really isn't. And the damage that man has done is just unbelievable. 2 years of abject failure. I'm sorry, it's not acceptable. But they had management experience. Exactly. Arteta didn't. And when he walked into the manager job at Arsenal, exactly. At least these other managers that we had, like George Graham and Terry Neal, they had experience of managing a football club. They would have never, ever appointed a manager without any experience. Arteta should have gone, if he wanted to get into management, he should have gone and managed in the Spanish 3rd division, or he should have gone and managed in English non-league football or somewhere like that where it's more commonplace for managers to come in without management experience and learn their trade. I just think it's a recipe for disaster to appoint someone into a position like that without any management experience. You're just asking for trouble. Let's hope Arteta turns into one of those great managers. Absolutely, mate. I hope and pray that he does, and I hope and pray with all my heart that he proves me wrong. But I just don't think that we're going to win major titles with him under his control. I really don't. So after the games that were played over Boxing Day and the 27th, this was the league table. Manchester City were top on 47 points. They were 6 points clear of Liverpool, although Liverpool had a game in hand. Liverpool were equal on points with Chelsea, although Liverpool had a game in hand as well over Chelsea. And Arsenal were in fourth on 35 points, having played 19 games. Tottenham were in fifth on 29 points, and they had 3 games in hand over Arsenal. If they win those 3 games in hand, and that's a big if, they will move 3 points clear of Arsenal. And also coming up soon, we got a North London derby at White Hart Lane. If Arsenal manage to win that game, it will put us clear of Tottenham. And then West Ham have gained 1 game in hand on Arsenal, and they've got 28 points. If they win that game in hand, they will be 4 points behind Arsenal. United have 2 games in hand on Arsenal, are on 28 points. If they win both those games in hand, they will be 1 point behind Arsenal. So, yeah, it's hotting up in the race for the top 4. It really is. So it's getting quite exciting. Burnley, Newcastle, and Norwich are in the bottom 3. But Burnley have at least 3 games in hand over the rest of the relegation rivals, and 1 game in hand over Watford, and are on 11 points. Newcastle are on 11, and Norwich are on 10. So it's getting quite tight down the bottom as well. Watford are getting perilously close to the drop zone as well. And Stape says it just goes to show he's personally done a great job inside 2 years without any experience. But I agree we should attract bigger names as manager. Mate, I think we should. I agree with you about that, but I don't agree with you about the first part of your statement. I don't think he has done a great job. I've got severe question marks about all of his management, about his coaching, the way he manages the players, the way he sets up a team, his tactics, all of it. I can't see one thing that he's done well since he's been here in the 2 years. And let's not forget, he's finished 8th twice, 2 years running. Unai Emery was here less than a year, and he was 1 point away from getting us into the Champions League, and he got us to the European final, the first European final we'd been in since 1995, I believe. I think I'm right in saying that. So, yeah, no. Sorry, mate, I don't agree with that for the first part of the comment. Second part, yeah, I absolutely agree with you. So the predictions game for match day 19, right? So that was the fixtures for match day 19 over Boxing Day and the 27th, which we've already gone through, so I'm not going to go through that again. And my predictions for the games were Liverpool to beat Leeds 5-0. The game was postponed. Wolves to beat Watford 1-0. The game was postponed. Burnley to lose 2-1 at home to Everton. The game was postponed. I said that Man City would win 3-1 against Leicester. And the game ended in a 6-3 victory for Man City. I said that Arsenal would beat Norwich by 2-1, and they won by 5-0. And then Tottenham, I said, would beat Crystal Palace by 2-1. They won by 3-0. West Ham and Southampton, I said, would end in a 1-1 draw, and Southampton ended up winning the game by 3-2. I said that Aston Villa would lose 1-0 at home to Chelsea, and they ended up losing by 3-1. Brighton, I said, and Brentford, I said, would end in a 0-0 draw, but Brighton ended up winning the game by 2-0. And then Newcastle, I said, would lose 2-0 at home to Manchester United, and the game ended in a 1-1 draw. So those results meant that James Dunlop is still running away with the Warren's Team Talk prediction game. He has 112 points. Mick is second with 94 points. And I'm third with 89. And Jamie H is fourth with 8 points. And I won this week with 4 points. James was second with 3, and Mick came in third with 2 points. So James says, nope, Barcelona. Right. Okay. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Stape. Sorry, mate. Final. Oh, right. So since 2005. Yeah, sorry, mate. No, you're right. Absolutely. Yeah, so I just want to big up the Gooner Claude Trust, a trust that was set up after Claude from AFTV sadly died earlier this year. It was set up by his daughter in Claude's memory, and it gives opportunities to disadvantaged people to attend football matches at the Emirates Stadium, predominantly for disabled people or children who otherwise would not be able to attend. So, yeah, it's really good charity. I put a link for their website in the description of the video. So if you feel so inclined, go and check them out and find out what they do, because, like I say, it is a really excellent charity. And then some other great YouTube channels. The Old Skool Gunner, he's been supporting Arsenal since 1992. He discusses all things about Arsenal and brings you insightful Arsenal content. There's the 3 Pointers TV, which this man here, Stapes, belongs to. They bring cutting-edge watch-alongs, news, gossip, and many other topics relating to Arsenal. So go and check him out and his channel. It's an excellent Arsenal-related channel. Well worth supporting, well worth subscribing to. I'm sure you won't be disappointed by the videos they put out. Then there's Arsenal Alex, who brings you all things about Arsenal, including instant match reactions. Another really passionate Arsenal fan. He does excellent Arsenal content. Then there's Drawn by Dre, who brings you top quality Arsenal-related content, including his highly rated and excellent possession-based podcast. And then there's the Aussie Gooner, discusses all things Arsenal from an Aussie perspective. And I can tell you, I know for a fact he's absolutely loving the Ashes at the moment. He's loving seeing us getting slapped all over the place in the Ashes. So fair play to him. And then last but not least, there's the Claude and the Bansta channel. In my opinion, it's the number one place on YouTube for heated football debates. The two presenters, when they're on stream together, will invariably get into really heated discussions and debates about Arsenal. You've got Diesel, who doesn't think that Mikel Arteta is the man. And then you've got the other one, Terry, who thinks that Mikel Arteta is the greatest young manager in the world. So the two of them clash and fight like cat and dog when they get on stream together. So it's great entertainment and excellent viewing. And I'm sure that you will not be disappointed if you spend your time watching any of these channels. So I put links to all these channels in the video description if you want to check them out. I'm sure they'd be delighted to see you and interact with you. They're all really good guys and really produce excellent content. So, State says, last thing, Warren, mate, should we get an Arteta statue when we win the league this season? Great content, Warren. A statue for Mikel Arteta. I'd like to see a statue of George Graham before I see a statue of Mikel Arteta, mate. If he wins the league, he will get my backing. And there you go. That's how I feel about it. I'm not interested in finishing fourth. I'm not interested in finishing third. I'm not interested in finishing second. I want to finish first, and I want to win major trophies like the Champions League, for example. So yeah. So in answer to your question, no. I think he deserves a statue if he matches the achievements of some of our other great managers, the likes of Herbert Chapman and Georgie Graham, people like that, but not before. So, yeah, thank you very much for coming in, Stapes. And I also want to thank the McManus Sense and Taib Hussain and James Dunlop and who else has been in here today? I think that's about it, but I'm just going to double check. Yeah, so I just want to thank all you guys for coming in and interacting with me in my chat. And I also want to thank everyone who's watched this on playback. I hope you've enjoyed the video. And also, please feel free to put your comments about the games that I've talked about today in the comments section of the video. I'll be delighted to read about what you thought about the games and what your take on them was. And yeah, please don't forget to put a like on the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and also please don't forget to share the content around. I'd really, really appreciate that. So thanks very much. And Stapes says, anytime, Warren, mate. Thank you, Stapes. And next time you're on, Stapes, I will try and come and watch one of your videos as well. And if I can't get on, I will watch it on playback for sure. And McManus says, cheers, Warren. Great stream as always. Thank you, McManus. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Right, everyone, I'm going to finish it there. Thanks very much for coming in again. Like I say, I'm glad that you all enjoyed it. And I look forward to seeing you all again really soon. Thanks a lot. Take care. And if I don't see you before, I'd like to wish you all a very happy new year. And let's hope that the next year, 2022, brings a lot more health and happiness for everyone. Take care, guys. And I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Thanks a lot. Bye for now.